practice reports continue today. We're here at breezy Merritt Island. I'll tell you what, it feels good out here today, and I'm here with Terrance Latner and Evan Dougherty. Evan Dougherty. Let me start with Terrance Latner. First of all, I can't believe you're a senior already. Talk a little bit about your expectations for you and for this football team for your senior season.
Well, for me, mostly this year is accountability on myself and mostly on the team. I feel like last year we didn't hold each other accountable. This year we got to do a better job at that. Always got to get better every year.
You really seem like a nice fit here when you came over last year at Merritt Island. Talk about what it means to be a Mustang and what that Merritt Island pride is.
Definitely pride and tradition, and family, of course. Everybody's a family. Everybody's known each other since Little League. Even though I came over late, they took me in like I was there the whole time. So I just love Merritt Island. I love it over here.
Still locking it down in the defensive secondary?
Of course.
Of course. All right, Evan, tell us a little bit about you. What position do you play?
I play left tackle.
All right, offensive left tackle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you know what? You got some size to you. That's unusual for Merritt Island linemen. Now, all right, talk a little bit about I love Coach Murray's offense. I do. Talk a little bit about the expectations for the offensive side of the football this year.
Well, this year we really need to be able to run the ball and rely on our run game. I think our O-line has some of the biggest size guys that we've had in the last couple of years, and we have some of the biggest guys coming out here, and I really think that we should be able to run the ball, get those 4 or 5 yard plays a game, like on third down when we need to be able to run the ball, and we can get those first downs.
I want to ask you a little bit about helping nurture young quarterbacks along. How do you do that as a veteran leader on this team?
You just got to focus on the next play. You can't mess up. You can't just get your head caught up in the last play on that interception. You just got to think about how you're going to go out there and perform and lead your team to success.
Terrance, a lot of people always say they're like, we're going to have a down year this year or that. What would you say to people that are saying Merritt Island's going to have a down year?
Well, they say that every year.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But it never happens, but what do you say to them?
There's nothing really to say. You just got to show it on the field and be district champs and then be state championship. Simple as that.
Exactly. This program here, so much pride, so much tradition. I asked Terrance this. I'll ask you this. What does it mean to be a Merritt Island Mustang when you look up and you see 3 state championships and the pride and tradition that this program has?
It's everything we've put into it our whole lives. I've been a Mustang my whole life, and it's just part of my life now, and it's what I bleed. All I've known is Merritt Island my whole life.
Bleed black and yellow.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it, guys. Final question for you. Are you a senior too? All right. So, off the football field as a senior, what are you looking forward to the most this year? There's graduation, grad bash, or whatever that thing is called. So, what are you looking forward to the most this year off the football field?
Definitely hanging out with the senior class. Even if it's a football player or not, they're definitely going to be football. Yeah.
How about you?
I'd say the same thing with him. I'd love to just go hang out with my boys. Like after we get done through the year and we're relaxing and we just get to hang out and just finish out the school year.
Doesn't matter where it is. Like we used to hang out as seniors at McDonald's parking lot, but it didn't matter. But we created some of the best memories there. Terrance Latner, Evan Dougherty, guys, thank you very much. Yep. Slaughter-Zinski continuing here at the O-Dome with practice reports, and I'm here with Coach Tyler Murray. Coach, into the pads part of this thing now, and what do you like about what you're seeing from your guys?
Our guys are just coming out and competing every day. It's great to see a competitive mindset, and going back and forth between offense and defense over the course of camp has been a really good sign.
Coach, I gotta say, man, I like the trim on the beard there. You had to get that done. Looks good on you. Just because of the weather. That's otherwise you still have it grown, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Coach, I just talked to a couple of seniors who they're dialed in, not just on the team, but the tradition. And, I get traditions at other schools, but you know what? Merritt Island seems to be at the top of the list when you talk about that pride, tradition, and family. Talk a little bit about when you hear your players talk about that pride, tradition, and family as if they're 50 years old.
I mean, it's a great sign. I mean, as you can see on we have the retired jerseys of some of our greats back in the 78, 79, Derek Brown in 86, and the 80s. Those guys just instilled the tradition back then, and it's really just been Merritt Island guys giving back to Merritt Island guys since the 60s and 70s. I don't know where he's out. He's out here somewhere today. Ray Parker is one of the out here. He's our equipment guy for a long time, as a original graduating class of '66 here. So.
Wow, original graduating class of '66 out here today helping out, Coach. Let's talk about each unit. Let's start with the unit that you call the offensive side of the football. The quarterback situation. You don't have to say where it is, but what do you like about what you're seeing from it at this point?
I mean, those guys are getting better every day. I mean, from day one to now, they look like completely different players. And if we continue on that trend, we're going to be a pretty good football team. And obviously, our offensive line, that's our strength. We returned 4 out of 5 from last year on that group. We're going to lean heavily on those guys, protect those guys. And as you know, and most of us coaches know, is if you're good up front, you're usually a pretty good football team.
Yeah. And, Coach, talking to Evan Dougherty, size. And that's something you don't normally see here. It's normally finesse and technique, but on top of the finesse and technique this year, it looks like you got a little size up front.
Yeah, we're bigger than we've ever been. Got 2 guys that are 6'7". Now, Big Gabe Arnold committed to Western Kentucky this week. Marshall Conley's 6'7", 285. Our left guard, 6'2", 280, 250, 280.
You said Gabe committed to Kentucky?
Western Kentucky.
I'll have to get that up for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so those guys are, I mean, we've got some big guys that are athletic and have been in the system for 2 or 3 years, and those guys are learning to play together and getting in the right group, and I think we're going to be okay.
All right, defensively, Coach, these guys getting after a little bit. Talk a little bit about their defense.
Yeah, I mean, our defense, they've been flying into the football, being super gap sound in camp. You know, obviously you have some days where offense is a little better than the defense, but overall, I mean, everybody's getting better on that side of the ball. I think our secondary is going to be one of the better groups. 2-ball drill, Beardall. Is going to be one of our better aspects with guys like Chris Kelly and Vontae Peterson, who also plays quarterback for us, you know, over there in the secondary. And we got 2 guys that played all last year with Terrance and Cortland Campbell. So we have some guys that people don't really know about that are going to make a big splash this year on that side of the ball.
Coach, well, let's get back to practice. Thank you very much, Caleb. If you just kind of pan around a little bit here real quick as we wrap up here at Merritt Island, as the Mustangs are getting set. Next week they play in a jamboree next week. Caleb, who is it against? It's Vieira, Merritt Island, Seabreeze. So Merritt Island will play the second and the third game of that jamboree next week up at New Smyrna Beach. So reporting live from the O-Dome here this afternoon, Alan Slaughterzinski for Brevard Sports Network.